YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about how Jahan Dotson and Carson Wentz are growing on me. Yes, you heard it here first. Those two players specifically are growing on me. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Let's get straight into today's video. So, before we do that, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, man. Appreciate all you guys. If I won't have a video about tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to make one, but if I do, I want to reiterate this, but just in case I don't, I just want to wish all the fathers out there Happy Father's Day, man, and enjoy your day. Now, we have some news. So yesterday, the Washington Commanders head coach Ron Rivera was fined $100,000, and we lost 2 OTA practices for next year due to the physical, I guess, drills that we had. I think it was more so of the Jeremy Reeves hit on De'Ami Brown that cost us the fine, and the 2 lost days of OTAs next year, which doesn't make any sense to me. But I guess that's punishment for what we did. Apparently the Cowboys got fined too. So obviously the NFL is being really serious about physical contact with no pads in practice, and that's why Ron Rivera probably was so amped up and so I guess he was yelling at the boys and the fellas after the collision happened about why we can't do that. Not just because of the fine and whatnot, but just because he wants to keep these players healthy, man. We didn't have pads on, but that's the consequences for stuff like that. And now, let's get into the main point of this video. As you can see by the title, Jahan Dotson and Carson Wentz are growing on me. Now, let me first start by saying, with Carson Wentz, if you guys go back to when we traded for him, I didn't hate the trade. I didn't like the trade. I was in the middle. I didn't know how to feel. And quite frankly, still to this day, I don't know how to feel about the Carson Wentz trade. But he is growing on me. Each and every day I watch, the interviews and the mini camps and OTA practices. He's growing on me. Although I'm not 100% in love with the trade, all I know is he's better than anything we've had since Kirk Cousins. That's what I know, and I've been through that since we traded for him. But it's like, I don't want to say I like Carson Wentz to trade just yet, just because I want to see how he plays. And that still is my stance to this day. I'm in the middle of the trade, but he is growing on me, man. Because I just see I don't want to say I see a different Carson Wentz, but it seems like he's more locked in. It seems like he's more comfortable. It seems like he doesn't have to worry so much. He doesn't have to put so much pressure on his shoulders to perform, because he's here with somewhere. He's somewhere where he's wanted. And Ron Rivera, he iterated that as soon as he got off the plane and he landed here in the DMV area. He made it abundantly clear to tell Carson Wentz, you're where you're wanted. You're somewhere where you're wanted. Because you can clearly see by the actions of, I believe his name is Jim Irsay, and Chris Ballard, I believe their general manager, wanted Carson Wentz, but Jim Irsay, the owner, didn't. And you could clearly see that by his actions. I mean, he constantly is bashing Carson Wentz in interviews, and he's talking about how much they didn't really want him, and how he was holding them back, and trading for Carson Wentz was a big mistake and stuff like that. And that gets to a player, So maybe last year, during the season, I'm pretty sure he already knew that the disconnection there was already there. And maybe during the season last year, he was playing with a lot of pressure on him to perform. He wanted everything to be perfect, and he really couldn't be free. And even if that's the case, he still put up really solid numbers, better numbers than anything we've had since Kirk Cousins. And I guarantee what he had, 21-7 last year, touchdown to interception ratio, something around there, or 27-7. If we had any of that last year, we make the playoffs. But back to what I was saying was, maybe he felt the pressure from the upper management and the owner to perform well that he kind of didn't. Maybe he isn't a guy that performs with a lot of pressures put on his shoulders. He likes to be relaxed. He likes to just go out there and play free, and probably, unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that, especially down the stretch of the season last year, because he had pressure on him from the upper management to perform better. And again, that's just Jim Irsay, I don't like the approach that he took of bashing Carson Wentz, but you know how guys are. You know how owners are. And Carson Wentz pretty much responded to that, and he says, you know, he has his own opinion. I have my own opinion, you know, but he's not in Indy no more. He's here in Washington. Again, where somewhere he's winning. And again, it's only OTAs, only minicamp. But through the few interviews that I hear from Carson Wentz, he just seems more relaxed. He seems more focused. He just seems like he can just go out there and be Carson. Like, he doesn't have to overdo it. And that's quite frankly all we need from Carson Wentz this year. Obviously, it would be great to have the MVP Carson, what was it, 33-7. That would be amazing. But we just need someone that's going to go out there and deliver the ball in clutch moments. Just play good, clean football, score touchdowns. Don't overdo it. You know, we just need a competent quarterback. Because, again, we haven't had that since Kirk Cousins, man. And that's what we've been missing, truly. And like I said, he's growing on me, dog. Like, I always liked Carson Wentz as a person, you know, as a player. But I really was never able to root for him just because he played for the Eagles. But you knew how good Carson Wentz was. Like, he killed us. Like, we seen it up close and personal every time we played the Eagles. Carson Wentz killed us, even up until 2019, that game where he threw it to the back of the end zone. I believe it was Boston Scott that caught the touchdown, or Miles Sanders, one of those guys. He killed us up until that 2019 season, and in 2020 we got him. But 2020 was a debacle season for him. You know, it was tragic. You know, it was bad. Like, it was historically bad for Carson with injuries, Jalen Hurts saga, stuff like that. But again, just me looking from the outside in, man, Carson he just looks relaxed, man. He looks happy again. Like, he just looks like he can just be Carson and go play ball. But again, I just wanted to come on here to say that he's growing on me, man. And I'm really starting to like what I see. But again, I'm going to stay with my approach that I had in the beginning of this trade. I'm not happy about it. I'm not mad about it. I'm right in the middle until I see Carson Wentz plays. Okay? I'm rooting for this guy, man, obviously, because he plays for my favorite team. And how great would it be to have a franchise quarterback finally, right? But then now you move on to our first round draft pick, Jahan Dotson, okay? Initially, I didn't like the pick. Why? Because I felt like the draft was going the exact way that I wanted it to. It was Jameson Williams was there. Chris Olave was there. Who else was there at 14? It was or 11. Sorry, it was Ravens safety Kyle Hamilton. He was there. We had a lot of options, and you guys know if you were in the stream, I was too excited because everything was playing out how we wanted it to. The only person that was gone that we possibly wanted was Garrett Wilson. He was gone to the Jets, and that was one pick prior to ours. But then I was like this in the pre-draft process. I said I want us to trade back though and recuperate draft capital for Carson Wentz, but still get a playmaker. And we did exactly that. So me, after the draft, I wasn't too hot about the Jahan Dotson pick just because I felt like we had better options there at 11. But after really thinking about this whole pick and seeing Jahan being the pro and just being NFL ready like they said he was going to be, I'm like, the Commanders did exactly what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to trade back. I wanted them to recuperate draft capital from the Carson Wentz trade. And I wanted them to draft a playmaker, a receiver, or draft a game changer. They did exactly that. Although it's probably not who I wanted it to be because I didn't know who Jahan Dotson was before we drafted him, because I'm not much of a college football watcher and I don't want to come on here and act like I am. After watching this guy in OTA's minicamp, the way he approaches this stuff, the way he talks in his interviews, he screams off Terry McLaurin vibes. I've been saying this since day one. Not the player, but just the person, how he carries himself, quiet, shows up there to do his business, man. And he's just a pro's pro. And you see that early and often, man. You hear Carson Wentz talking about him, how smart he is, how quickly he's learning the playbook and stuff like that. Again, he's the most pro-ready wide receiver coming out of this year's draft class. So it's not surprising at all that Jahan Dotson is picking it up just like that. You know, and he's growing on me as well. Again, that's how every draft pick is for me. whether I like it or not, he's gonna grow on me eventually. Why? Because he's playing for my favorite team. I'm not gonna root against the guy because I want to see him perform. I want to see him be good because he's playing on my favorite team that I love, that I've been a fan of since I was a kid, man. So again, anybody we pick up, we draft, whether I like it or not, it's gonna take time to grow on me. And it's that phase of the offseason where the draft picks that I didn't like are starting to grow on me. Mainly Jahan Dotson. For Darian Mathis, you're going to have an Aaron Donald-esque season/career to grow on me. I ain't going to lie. But no, in all seriousness, these two guys are growing on me, Carson and Jahan. And I'm hearing the rapport that they're building in practice is crazy. It's really, really good. And I just can't imagine. I can't wait to see it when Terry is there, Jahan, Curtis, man, I can't wait to see that trio. My boy Dayami, Cam Sims, who you guys know I'm a huge Cam Sims fan, man. I can't wait to see this offense at its top peak, and we're still going to have to wait because, you know, Logan Thomas isn't going to be healthy, but we're going to get it close enough, man, and I just can't wait for training camp, man, and we have a long ways to go into training camp, man. I ain't going to lie, about 3 months to the season, 2 months, and 20 days to week 1. We got about 5 weeks until, you know, training camp, and then we have about like 2 months into preseason, so it's gonna be a long wait, man. This is the part of the offseason that I hate the most because I just want to watch ball, man. I want to watch our Commanders go to work. But it starts at training camp, man. We'll see you guys there. But again, this is where I need you guys the most to put down comment videos down below in the comment section so we can carry us through this dry part of the offseason where it's not going to be much Washington Commanders news. So as always, it's me and boy Juangottiwft. Like, comment, subscribe, help to the Washington Commanders. Leave your comments down below. And about this video, is Jahan growing on you? Is Carson growing on you? How do you feel about those two guys in specifically? As always, me and boy Juangottiwft. Like, comment, subscribe, help to Washington Commanders. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, man. I'm out. Peace.